All right. Whew, I had a speed run putting that stream up. Okay, so right now we have Grandville High School versus Novi High School Varsity and Play versus League. This is a make-up match from last week. So let's get right into it. We have two heavies, King DDD and King K. Rool. Gabe, what do you know about these characters and how you think this matchup might play out?
Well, since they're both heavy, um, King DD does have semi-advantage since he is a little bit more floaty than K. Rool. And with Gordo, he can use that for a bit of range. On the other hand, Gordo can be used as a counter for K. Rool as a first blunderbuss.
Yeah, for sure. You can also actually, King Dedede, as long as he has, you know, about the same mid-range ground as K. Rool, can kind of just nullify Blunderbuss with Inhale too.
Yep.
And reflect it back at him. But I guess it could become a reflect battle. Looks like a slight SD or misstep coming from the King Deity on Grandville's side, putting Northview here at a slight lead. Ooh, Meteor Smash attempt from the King K. Rool. Jiren is able to escape it, but stuck on the ledge. Finds his way out with a forward air right off the ledge. And now we're kind of at this mid-range projectile battle. Ooh, K. Rool's too heavy to die from that up air. Most characters would have died from that one. That one too. That one was slightly below the stage, so there wasn't really a lot of... Like, it had too much space. Really crazy setup there. Do you see that? That was like Gordo plus dash attack to create a frame trap and ended up being a shield break.
I think King DD might have to use a lot of Gordos and keep him at range so far. Or just like keep on trying to trap him.
I think so too. I also think counterplaying with Inhale is probably going to be his best friend too, especially with the crown.
I think as long as King DD keeps ground and can keep K. Rool at a safe distance, he should be fine.
Yeah. Wow, I'm super impressed with Jiren here as King DDD, landing super aggressively while he saw that his opponent was charging an up smash. Super gutsy right there, but it really paid off. He got to even off the stock a little better, but it gets taken out by, I think that was the forward air on the K. Rool's part.
Yes, it was. So far, it's more, since of how heavy K. Rool is, it's kind of hard to get decent ground or hits in, knowing that he has a counter as well.
Ooh, there's that up smash coming out and actually connecting this time. Not for a kill, but just for big damage, almost lapping Jiren here.
The K. Rool is definitely playing more aggressively since he kind of knows that he can't really die easily.
Yeah, he kind of put Jiren in a position where Jiren has to aggressively deal with his super scary moves that can kill him.
Definitely main problem I'm seeing is the had or crowd that K. Rool throws.
So this, unlike a lot of the previous matches that we've streamed here, is not a crew battle. This is actually going to be more of like a circuit where each school has 3 players, and they kind of go and do 1v1s, and when one team's player wins a match, then that school gets a point. So right now, even though Northview's King K. Rool won that match, or that game, he did not win the match just yet, so the score is actually still 0-0, and I can even display that up here on the scoreboard. So far we have Northville's K. Rool up 1, and Grandville's King DDD down 1. Alright, so right now, at this point in the match, the team that just won a game is now banning a couple of the stage choices, and then with the remaining stages left, Grandville's King DDD is going to have to choose a stage that he sees fit for the matchup and for the characters.
I think Jiren is going to definitely adapt more to this fight now.
Yeah.
Knowing what this King will do.
I agree, and knowing that Jiren um, has been quite a slow starter
Mm.
um, since, from day one of the school year to now, like there's just so much growth. And he's definitely a player that takes his experiences and learns from them um, at a pretty fast rate. A lot of people, sometimes it takes, getting beat up by the same thing once or twice or three times before it really sets in what you have to do. But Jiren kind of figures out the answer sooner than most other students. So starting up this match, we have
With a throw.
yes, and also Jiren decides to take away platforms altogether in this matchup. I wonder if that is to avoid getting trapped on platforms and getting hit by a big up smash or something that can make it more guaranteed for K. Rool to get a kill.
There is advantages and disadvantages with platforms. The advantage that King DD has, he can use a lot more moves, but but the downside is not having like decent ground as well for like weird plays.
Yeah, connecting a forward smash here. First forward smash is able to connect. I'm surprised it didn't kill. It must have been like a weird sour spot. Okay, King Dede's gonna take the first stock here. Sorry, I hear so many different conversations in our background. We have 2 matches going on, of course, and then we also have our Marvel Rivals team practicing. So there's a lot going on in Gabe and I's atmosphere here. But nonetheless, we are back at an even game 2 here. Percent lead's gonna go to Grandville very slightly, but remember these are 2 heavy characters that we are seeing on our screen, so it's not gonna take just a few hits to take them off.
Absolutely, no. With King DD is since he has a lot more plays with in the air. K. Rool needs to stick to the ground, or else he will probably SD.
Yeah. Kill percent now though. An up air at a decently high spot on the map will kill here. Any of the smash attacks will take out K. Rool. He actually counters that was so smart by Jiren. So let me run back what just happened there. So King K. Rool counters the earthquake hitbox after the forward smash hits the ground, King Dede's. And it put him in a kind of like a spot where he was stuck in the animation but not hitting DDD with the counter. So Jiren was able to take that like kind of free reign he had there. He had like a second of free movement and just used it to get a kill with up tilt. Very smart by Jiren. That smash attack.
The belly flop.
Yeah, the belly flop takes it. Oh. Okay.
Wow.
All right. Very quick
We
end
also
to
see
that
Jiren
game.
avoid K. Rool's crowns a lot more now.
Yeah, and he's actually using every time that the K. Rool crowns, he's using that as an opportunity to jump over it and hit a Gordo. Almost every time. The Gordo seems to hit K. Rool right as his super armor ends from throwing the crown, so a little unlucky natural timing there. Considering that Jiren just counterpicked and won on Final Destination, I'm wondering if he is banning the 2 battlefields right now, just to get rid of those consistent platforms altogether.
Possibly. It would make sense. This will allow Jiren to more focus on him and not dodging.
Yes, they also went to Pokemon Stadium 2 as the first match. Do you think Jiren is also banning that stage because K. Rool won the first match?
Probably. So it could. Oh. Small
battlefield is left? Okay. Same characters though, so now we are dealing with 1 less platform, but a whole lot of less space. And these, like, we have 2 big bodies throwing things on the screen, so this is going to be quite a volatile game.
This is going to be really chaotic. Knowing that K. Rool and D has range, this can end up really bad or really good for both.
Yeah, it's starting out pretty even. Jiren is, using a lot of these, in the fighting game world, we like to call them whiff punishes. Just, it's exactly what it sounds like. If an opponent whiffs a move, it throws out a move and doesn't hit you, then you kind of use all of that time while they're missing their move to get in a position to hit them back in a more guaranteed way. And I think Jiren kind of learned from that first match that he doesn't need to actually fight K-Rool totally head on. He can totally wait to see what K-Rool does with the slower moves and then kind of attack accordingly.
Yep, and now we're seeing Jiren actually adapt with the platforms fully.
Ooh, almost turning the tides completely there with that up smash. K-Rool's going to get hit by the second bounce of a Gordo, so not a super hard impact. I believe that he was kind of sizing up a reflect there, but Jiren messed up his timing just a little bit using that inhale to reflect it. Not really reflect it, but
throw more speed with Gordo.
Yeah, it kind of switched up the timing, so he couldn't counter just right in time. He wasn't able to react. Even game, unfortunately, King DD did not make it back to stage on accident. Ooh, big back air. He's going to put the percent game in K-Rool's favor. So now, what Jiren was doing to this K-Rool, the K-Rool has the opportunity to do back to Jiren now that he kind of has a comfortable percent lead. Jiren's going to have to find a way to go in without missing, or else he's going to start getting hit hard. Oh, wow. Missed that tech, unfortunately. Ooh, good attempt. Jiren was charging a up smash there. Probably trying to return the kill as soon as he can. This King K-Rool is... we have a taunt coming
Miss
up.
taunt?
This King K-Rool is trying to end this game quickly. I wonder what he's rushing for. He's definitely in the driver's seat, and he's up almost a full stock. He doesn't have much that he has to worry about. He can kind of, let Jiren fumble around.
He let his smash attack cook, which wasn't a good idea, really.
Oh, back throw here. Almost.
The back throw did almost kill him.
A lighter character definitely dies there. Another missed down air. Gonna give stage control back to Jiren. Jiren almost gets hit by that counter and then
hit in SDs. Sad.
Yes. A lot happened in that one instance, but the first point is going to go to Northview High, thanks to their King K-Rool player. Alright, so the next thing that happens is each team has 2 players that have to play before Jiren can get a chance to play again. So the other 2 players are going to decide who's going to go in next, and it's going to be completely blind. We won't know... Grandville will know who Northview will play because Northfield has to pick their player, but we will not. But they will not know who we end up choosing.
So it's they choose first, we get to counter.
It's like when you counterpick characters in the actual game. If you win, then you pick your character first, and then your opponent gets a chance to counterpick after they lose. It looks like Grandville is sending in Mason, our newest member of esports, but happens to be one of the oldest on the esports team. He is going in with his Piranha Plant. Mason tried out, like everyone had to try out, except for we did not have his main on any of our switches, but he still
we had Peep Plant on one.
Well, maybe one. But I don't remember him using it ever during the tryouts. So he made the team, and he actually got second. We did a tournament for tryouts. He got second in the tryout tournaments without even using his best character. So since we got the character on the switches, because of his arrival, he has only been playing Piranha Plant and hasn't lost a game in this Play versus League yet.
Min. Okay. So range versus range, kind of. A zoner versus...
So they are 2 zoners in a sense, but they are 2 completely different kinds of characters at the same time.
I feel like Min is a true zoner, while P-Plant is like a semi-zoner, if that makes sense.
Piranha Plant is more about setting traps and putting your opponent in unfavorable situations.
Especially with the poison,
Yep. With the poison, with the Patui spike balls, um, with the things like priorities on his moves, like invincibility, on his
Yep.
super strong up smash, like all of these things are kind of created to catch opponents off guard. This
Min
Min
is
though is
definitely using
quite relentless.
the range to her advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. Stock lead for Northview here. This Min's relentless. Mason is going to have to kind of find his stride when it comes to what to do after he gets hit.
Because not many people play Min Min.
Right, and
So
Piranha
it is an
Plant,
awkward thing to go against.
yeah, it is. And well, as much as Min's awkward to go against, so is Piranha Plant. But Piranha Plant kind of has less straightforward ways of approaching characters that have the range of Min, or just other zoners in general. But just like the name of this game for almost any matchup, patience will be how either player wins this match.
I think Mason's definitely playing around everything that Minmin's throwing at him, which is really incredible, knowing that he can just adapt instantly.
Yeah. He decides to go for a super low last minute recovery in order to dodge the edge guarding attempt from Minmin, and it actually pays off. He's able to get back on stage and get a kill throw with the up throw. Now dodging the kill moves, Mason has to kind of turn the tides in percent here, but this is kind of what Piranha Plant is good at. If there was a character that was good at bridging the percents with one interaction, it would be Piranha Plant. Something I'm noticing that I haven't had to see Mason deal with yet is characters that don't have to ever worry or respect the fact that Piranha Plant has Patui.
Yeah.
Because Minmin's not really... Northview's Minmin is not really comboing Mason at all. It's just kind of hit from far range after hit, over and over and over again. And Patui can't really help with that. Ooh, almost gets the drag down from the tether recovery. One of the most vulnerable things that characters like Minmin kind of have to deal with is that they could just die if their up B gets snuffed out and they get dragged down. Ooh, great up smash. I think it was like the weakest possible hit of up smash though, because Minmin didn't go as far as I kind of expected she might. Low shield. There's possibly a shield break that could happen here, but a very good dash back into pivot grab. Wow.
Minmin's range is just insane. That is what a zone is. Minmin is just a zone,
And
like, to the fullest form.
To a lot of credit to Northview's Minmin too, they didn't really camp at all, Mason. They actually was relentless the entire time. With full-on aggression. It's just Piranha Plant struggled to be in range of his own damage and couldn't strike back as much as he was getting hit. I wonder what the adjustment is here.
Which, for most Minmin, it's actually really rare to see them not camp around. So Minmin taking the role of actually being relentless is kind of seeing a new light.
Right.
And puts Minmin into a more dangerous spot now.
Should just be finishing, just finishing their stage picks now. And both characters are going in. We are going to be playing on Pokemon Stadium 2. It's definitely a big staple with Smash players in general, all ages, all leagues. People just really like the stage. It has good music, and it's just one of the more neutral, fully neutral stages that don't really give certain characters advantages over others. I'm watching now as Grandville's Piranha Plant is kind of trying to find counter hits to Min Min's limbs. Like
But
he's trying
it's-
to hit the move that Min Min's hitting, but it's not quite landing just yet. But it is serving him well because instead of just running in and getting hit with all this damage, he's actually playing a lot slower,
Which is like,
helping.
yes, a lot. But yeah, with the redirection that Min Min can do, it is a little bit harder to actually play along with like slower.
Yeah, unfortunately, it gets destroyed by that second left hook there. I didn't see what glove that the Min Min had on, but it might have been the heavy ball one, because that like killed so fast. I was not ready for it. Pitui lands to give just a little bit of relief, but his ledge option was snuffed out. Kill percent here on Min Min though. Gets hit by a back air, and then we have even percents, which is exactly where Mace wants to be, given the circumstances of what's already happened in the match. Very smart to delay himself from that one like uppercut punch. I don't even know the name of the move. A lot of smash attacks coming out from the Min Min. Definitely looking like they want crouch cancel in the game.
It definitely looks.
Up smash out of shield, very smart. What were you saying?
It looks like that Min Min is using, like, adapting to P-Plant now a lot now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really interesting to see, and because of like making sure that P-Plant is at range so it doesn't get any damage in.
Oh yeah, fully look at that, like completely punished for even trying to go for the Pitui option there. Oh. Alright. Alright, Northview is going to go up 2-0. Alright, so Grandville's last player is going to be Keat. Keat actually sports a couple of different characters, but he's most notable for his Wii Fit Trainer. And it looks like that's who he's deciding to play now as well. The Northview is going to be opting for their Snake player. Alright, Wii Fit Trainer versus Snake. So this is another matchup of zoner characters. All three matchups have been zoner characters, but all of them have kind of had the same trope too. Like we've had two zoner heavies,
Which is like two zoner heavies, two zoner
two
medium-
frame trap
Yeah.
characters, and now we have two like physical projectile characters with explosive moves.
Which is really going to be actually interesting. Because they should not work, like, on the field, this should not work. Because they have, like, each other's kit, but in different formats.
Yeah, so I think this is actually going to end up being more the most neutral of the matchups that we've seen so far. Wii Fit Trainer has a lot of ways that kind of break Snake out of all the traps that he tries to set, while Snake just has the overall like explosive moves like his dash attack and the
Down air.
aerial denial of his up smash. Sorry, I couldn't get the move. And then also just stage denial with his C4 and everything. So like he kind of has a lot of. They both make it hard to play the game for each other. Snake might benefit from maybe being a better character, but Wii Fit might benefit from deep breathing.
Yep.
And getting these like snipe kills with Sun Salutation. Camel Snake. Alright,
starting immediately getting the deep breathing in.
Yeah, pretty predictable start here. Physical projectiles all over the screen, and then dash attacks coming out.
With the down throw as well. Throwing grenades whenever Snake can to basically keep away. And then that down air is really dangerous.
Yeah, so percent lead is now going to Snake, and this is kind of exactly the thing that's hard to deal with when you're Wii Fit. Thankfully, Wii Fit has the side B off the ledge and ways to kind of stall before the explosions happen, or to wait for the explosions to happen.
And then with calm breathing can also heal. So it really can just depend on how Key plays this out.
Yes. Oh, the Cypher. I was like, it almost looked like the soccer ball hitter. Both high percents across the stage. Snake has this, I'm noticing the Snake player is crawling under Wii Fit's projectiles that don't hit low enough. That's very interesting, very smart.
Yeah.
Spiked. Served and spiked off the stage with forward throw as a kill throw. That throw is technically a kill throw, but it's one of the weaker ones in the game. But that just kind of shows how high percent Snake was and the little bit of rage that was accumulated on the Wii Fit side of things.
This is just showing how, like, somewhat strategic but also brain dead zoner characters are. With Snake absolutely just bombing the arena. Oh, and then causing...
Yep. Hit a C4.
Yeah.
He wasn't ready for it. I wasn't ready for it. I saw the
you-
explosion and I was like,
If
where?
you don't know where the C4 is, that is dangerous.
Yeah. Commentator check, where's C4 now?
And yet, sometimes the C4
It was, yeah, did you see it? Yeah. Oh, but using the explosion actually to get in position for a meteor smash. That was super smart by
Yeah.
Keith.
But yeah, the C4 kind of acts like Isabel's plant bomb as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't keep track of where it is, it will come in randomly. Starting with, and then homing missile into the barrage.
Keat right now doesn't have to do a whole much here because he has the range and he has all the tools to not do what he just did there
Yeah.
to kind of die. You got a little bit flustered, I think, with the positioning of everything, but realistically, you don't have to approach Snake if you're winning.
No.
That being said, Snake unfortunately misplaced himself under the stage and up-B'd and bonked his head. So Grandville is actually going to get their first game win of this match here.
There is also the unfortunate thing that can happen, which is Snake accidentally placing a C4 onto you, which is really rare.
It is rare, but when it happens, it is very planned because you can actually put it on people while they're shielding. It counts as like a command grab. So it's not unlikely that it will happen, but it's not like the most common thing in the world. But when the setups happen where people will stick you and then up air you immediately and then blow it up.
The explosion, yeah. It becomes really dangerous.
Yeah, like almost if you're at 60% and it happens, you might just die. Snake is a super explosive character and a fun character if you are a player that likes to really learn the ins and outs of a character to be successful with them. I'm curious about the choice of stage here. It seems like there's a lot of options and the characters function so similarly that I feel like it might just come down to preference. Like, I think you should keep open the stages you're more comfortable with and ban the stages you're least comfortable with. I wouldn't worry about the matchup too much.
I think they should definitely try to avoid flat ground, so definitely FD.
You think Keat will ban FD?
I think.
Okay.
Because FD wouldn't be as favorable for Keat or Snake at all.
That may be true, but we already saw that this Snake likes to hide C4 on platforms.
That is true.
And he's actually gotten a couple tech chases off of platforms too. So
I think they are going to ban FD because it has no platforms at
Yeah.
all.
We'll find out now. We are playing on Town and City. A staple for both these characters. There's a lot of space for them to do what they want, charge up their moves, plant bombs.
He is definitely putting him more at distance.
Okay, so what you saw there is not a lot of characters can do it, but Snake can crawl in this game, and Snake crawled all the way under, hoping that Keat would maybe throw a projectile so he could whiff punish it, but Keat just kind of waited and then hit him.
Which it worked.
Oh, scary, scary, scary position for Snake, but he actually ends up making it back, but kind of is down 80% here. Oh, now 80%.
The down air
Close
is
to 100
is a bit dangerous as well, if used correctly. Because the multi-kick. It can spike.
Ooh, Keat went for a very interesting setup, kind of utilizing Snake's explosion against him, but didn't quite hit. And we're going to see Keat just kind of go back to his side of the stage, charge up his moves, and just make Snake come to him, because he doesn't have to go to him at all. Forward air will seal the stock.
Yep.
We got a deep breathing on deck, and I think we have a half charge. Yep, half charge Sun Salutation ready. Up smashes coming up from the Snake for ledge traps, but Keat patiently waits and picks his option correctly.
Snake trying to get the homing missile off, but can't.
Yes, one of the most common ways I feel like Snake kills people is with that Nikita missile, but Wii Fit can suspend herself in the air enough to maybe even hit the missile itself out of the air or hit Snake out of the animation. So smart by Keat. Keat's really playing it by the book here, and that's kind of what you need to do when you are in such an even matchup.
And yet we see Keat try to bait Snake over here, so to the edge to try to at least counter or maybe just bait or just like do something.
Yeah, and yeah, it's definitely working. He even went to the ledge, used the soccer headbutt. Nikita is going to get hit by the soccer ball, and he'll make it back. Finally whittled down to kill percent. Down air is going to take it. That's a super fast move, so if that's the kind of win condition this Snake is going to have to play for, then he'll have to try approaching a lot less and really utilizing the time that he has left. Often in professional matchups like this end up going to time or really close to time.
Yeah.
So I think something that these players will learn as they grow into stronger players will learn that they kind of have to use the clock as a resource. Sometimes it's all you have.
Which sometimes with zoners it does come out to a standstill, so
Often. And zoners as well as like characters that are super fast too and tend to run away entire matches. Like Sonic. Sonic matches are very slow too.
Sonic and Greninja are definitely a bit weird because how fast they can play.
Right. And Meteor Smash is gonna take the Grandville the first point. So now this is what happens. Now that it's not a 3-0, so the match doesn't end here. Now that all 6 players have been able to play a match, now it comes down to picking who you want to play against who. Since we just won the match as Grandville, we have to pick a player, and then Northview can decide who they're going to put in versus that player. So I can hear them discussing it in the background. I'm going to let them decide. They are going to know what they're comfortable with a little bit better than I will, since I'm not the one playing, of course. So what do you think is the worst case scenario for Grandville, and what do you think the best case is?
I think the best case is DDD fighting Min Min.
You think the best case is having
Best
Gyron on
case might
DDD
be
versus Min?
DDD fighting Min Min.
Okay.
Because of we see Min Min playing Relentless and yet DDD being heavy can probably take the attacks,
Hmm.
with also countering with Gordo and the suck.
Right. Because here's the thing: if Grandville can win this game here, then it'll kind of go to game 5 situation, or match 5 in this case, where um, oh, before I say what I was about to say, I forgot to mention that um, after this match, like this next match, game 4 happens, a person that wins cannot play another game a second game in a row. So like, let's say we Granville has Keat play in this next game. If he wins, he cannot play in game 5. It has to be one of the other two. That's why I was getting at counterpicking the players themselves. Because right now Northview is in a position where they have all of the counterpick priority.
Yep. Yep. Ooh,
Okay.
interesting.
So we
They're
have
keeping Key in, so this is gonna be really interesting because now it's range to range.
right.
But yet with Min Min playing Relentless, that won't really matter. Really.
Yes, I actually was able to watch Keat play friendlies with this player for the fall playoffs. And it was very, very close. But the Min Min came out on top almost every game, I believe. And
So I think the
See-
Min Min is taking those friendlies into account for, and probably taking those passing counters to their advantage.
yeah, because here the thing is, Min Min can like hit Wii Fit from a safe distance while she's charging up in like off stage in air. So if
Yep.
Keat decides to stop in the air and do deep breathing, or stop in the air and do a volleyball, Min Min can just, with the correct gloves on, attack from wherever distance she might be, if she's looking to play aggressively and finish off the kill. So
And yet we see Min Min switching out the gloves every so often, trying to actually pick which ones are a good match.
yeah. Oh, Keat's able actually hit past one punch there with volleyball. I wonder what the timing for that is. It must be pretty tight.
Min Min just tossing the ball away.
Yeah, he's actually hitting Wii Fit before she's even getting out the animation. Pretty precarious for Keat, especially Min Min now has all of this range too. One slight strong hit could take it, but the Keat finally takes the stock, and honestly, probably a breath of relief for Keat in that stock. But there's still a mountain to climb for this one too. Wow. Now, Gabe, do you know if Min Min has to aim where that dragon shot goes?
I don't think.
I know she
maybe.
can angle the punch, but does that also affect the thing? I've always been curious.
I
of
don't really know. I think.
I just believe she can, because when I do watch good Min Mins play, they tend to be pretty accurate with it.
Yeah. So maybe they do have to like redirect their punches. Which it does look like they do have control over it.
Yeah. Yeah, Keat, I think right now he's playing super slow because he needs to kind of figure it out, but he needs time. So kind of the best way is when you're so much down in the first game and you have time to adapt. Sometimes you kind of want to live out your stocks as long as you can and kind of see how they play to create an idea. Whether that idea involves a character change, I do not know. Oh, well, as I'm saying it. What do you think Min Min bans?
Hmm. Min Min mains are a bit weird because they don't really fit any category except zoner, but yet they play really aggressive sometimes.
Hmm.
I guess it really just depends on what type of Min Min you face off against, if that makes sense.
Right. I'm hearing that we might just be staying Wii Fit here, so we're really gonna have to figure out how we can turn the tides here. We need to find a way to strike Min Min first before she can get any hits in. I think the biggest way, or the best way to beat her is if we can put her in disadvantage first.
Yeah. Which whoever it feels like whoever gets the first stock, especially for zoners, is gonna have a guaranteed win.
Yep, that first stock is so valuable.
Which we see Min Min just go for immediately. Ooh.
Kalos, okay.
Kalos. Tiny stage, but 2 platforms off the side.
And relatively open. Too.
Exactly. This will allow Min Min and Wii Fit to play off those platforms a bit, and to try to get easy kills as well.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll allows Wii Fit trainer to recover high onto the platform to avoid a punch like low.
3, 2, 1, go!
Alright, well, we're getting right into it. And Min Min does get the first strike again and puts Wii Fit off stage. Oh. I think what's happening here too is Grandville's players are so prepared for like the range moves that Min Min has that when they finally do get past them and get in, they kind of forget about the relatively fast get off me moves that she has in her kit as well.
Which is why I said it really just depends on like what type of Min Min player they are. We see this one adapt fully if Kate gets close.
Yeah, and they're also yeah. See, that's probably a big like Wii Fit killer right there is that dragon punch. It really like so many Wii Fits love using that time off the stage after getting hit as kind of like a reset moment, buff themselves up, get a little heals in, get a little charge in, but Min Min pressures that entire zone on the map that you're just never safe.
We also definitely see Min Min abuse allowing Key to charge up Max for the giant ball to then just throw it right back at him.
And then Key only had options to recover high there, but Min Min just waited over and over and over again. Rinse and repeat. And also just reflecting with the up smash all of Keith's like super far projectiles, so he can't even really use the space that he's making. It's really rough to watch.
I feel like Keith's definitely gonna have to catch Min Min off guard if he wants to get anything off.
Yeah. Grab from off the ledge. It doesn't look like Min Min gets any real kills off grabs, but does get kills off of small tech chases like that. And that is going to be Northview 3-1 over Grandville. Alright everyone, stay tuned. The stream is going to go down for a moment, but we are going to be back within about 10 minutes with our next match. We have a doubleheader today. It's going to be Grandville's A team versus Williamson High School.